Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyan. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagvad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 13th adhyay of Kshetradnya Vibhag Yoga. And Sri Krishna is going to tell us, in brief of course, but some description of this Kshetra. What is this Kshetra? He told us that it is the body. And then he told that, I will tell you, he told Arjuna and of course to us also, as we have read through that third Shloka. He told us that he is going to tell what this Kshetra is like. Yadrakcha. What is it like? How does it look? What are its properties? What is it made up of? And also, Yad Vikari Yataschayat. What are the different causes that create the effect? Different effects, various effects in this Kshetra. Vikar is modifications. How this Kshetra, it is subject to various kind of modifications. By which causes? Which causes are the effects for such modifications of the Kshetra? And he is also going to tell us about the Kshetradnya, who he is, Sachayaha, and what are his powers, what is his authority, what he can do. And before actually starting this description, Sri Krishna just made a mention of the sages, the rishis. They have sung the glories of this subject matter of the Kshetradnya. They have sung it beautifully in the form of songs and put to various tunes, different melodious tunes, of using those chanda to create those verses in glorifying the wonderful nature of the Kshetra and Kshetradnya. The rishis have sung about it in various ways. Rishibhir Bahuda Gitam. Not just monotonous singing, Bahuda Gitam. And Chandobhihi Vividhaihi Pruthak. And not just in one kind of symphony, not just one melody. Various Vividha Pruthak. Different and distinct chants. That is how the rishis have sung. And then Bahusutra Padaschaiva Hetumat Bhir Vinishchitaihi. They have sung these glories in the passages indicating of Brahman. Brahma Sutra Padaschaiva. Pada is passages. Through these passages of these verses, they have sung the glories of the Brahman, of indicative of the Brahman. And these verses which they have sung, which the rishis, the sages, they have sung, they are Hetumad Bhihi Vinishchitaihi. They have not created these hymns, these verses in a haphazard manner. They have been created. They are full of reasoning. They have a logical, background behind their creation. All the logical thought process has gone, reasoning has gone before these verses were written down or created. Those days it was never written, it was only through Shruti. Vinishchitaihi, and all those verses which these rishis used to sing, they have created and indicative of the Brahman. They are very conclusive. They are not, they do not take the listener, they do not take the singer into any confusion. They are highly decisive. Vinishchitaihi. They are very convincing. Now, after that introduction of the how rishis have glorified the nature of Kshetradnya through various songs and various chantings, various types of chantings. Now Sri Krishna comes to the real topic. Now is the real subject matter of this Kshetradnya Vibhaga Yoga starting. And Sri Krishna is telling us about what constitutes this Kshetra, these bodies. He has told Kshetra is the body. All the bodies in this creation, my body, your body, body of our relatives, family members, friends, acquaintances, all those around us, all those who are not around us, but they are there in this, on this earth. All the bodies, not only of human beings, bodies of all other animals, all other plants, all other inanimate matter also. Now Krishna is going to tell us what constitutes these bodies. So Krishna is telling, mahābhūtānyahaṅkāro buddhiravyaktameva cha indriyāṇi daśaikaṃ cha pañcam cendriyagocarāḥ. What is the composition of these bodies? We consider ourselves to be such a brilliant person, such a wonderful person. There is nobody like me. Now, what is this me composed of? What is this Kshetra composed of? Now, Sri Krishna is detailing the constituents of this Kshetra. And not only my Kshetra, the Kshetra of all the beings in this creation. Millions and trillions and trillions and trillions of beings in this creation in so many diverse forms, in so many multitudinal diversities. They are all composed of mahābhūtānyahaṅkāro buddhiravyaktameva cha. So in the first line, Sri Krishna has talked about three constituents, mahābhūtān, the pañca mahābhūta, the five cosmic elements. And we all know that this entire, wherever there is a matter, it is composed of these five. Fire, air, water, fire, earth, and the fifth mahābhūta is the ether, the space. Space, air, fire, water, and earth. Earth happens to be the solid portion of these pañca mahābhūta. Water is the liquid. Air is the gaseous phase. Then fire is the spirit phase. Fire is the action phase. Fire creates all these jumping and bubbling and all the movements, all the activities. Their source is this element fire. And all these four, they are pervaded by akasha, the ether, the space. Within the gamut, within the pale of that space, within the area of that space, all these four elements, they survive. They take place in that fifth phase of fifth mahābhūta, fifth cosmic element of space. We are all included in that space. That space remains undivided. It is not my space and your space and their space. No, that space is for all, and we all are surviving in that space. We all are present in that space. So that space is a common factor for all the four cosmic elements. So including space and these four cosmic elements, these five cosmic elements, pañca mahābhūtas, they are the basic constituents of all the kshetras. And then Sri Krishna says, buddhi, the intellect. Intellect also is the part and parcel of this kshetra. Now these are the physical forms. Four the mahābhūtas, which can be perceived actually, which can be felt. Earth is solid, the water is liquid, fire can be felt. It is too hot to handle, isn't it? And then the air we can feel. Only thing which we cannot perceive is space, and that creates all the confusion. While we are all within the gamut of that space, within the ambit of that space, we feel my space is different, your space is different, and that creates all the confusion, all the conflicts, all the distinctions, all the differences. If we consider this space belongs to us all, then there is no differentiation. Everybody is composed of the same earth, of the same water, of the same air, of the same fire, and is pervaded by the same space. Then Sri Krishna says, buddhi is also a constituent of this kshetra, the intellect, the discriminative power. Now all beings, they have buddhi. The evolution of buddhi at which scale, that depends from species to species. But buddhi is there in all the beings. And then avyaktameva, and even the unmanifested portion also is there associated with this kshetra. The one which is there inside this, the physical frame of five cosmic elements. That avyakta is also a part of this kshetra. That unmanifest indweller, the real dweller of this creation, that also is part of this kshetra. So this is what we are all composed of physically. Five elements. The physical, then the intellect, and there is also an element of unmanifestation attached to it, avyakta. It doesn't have any form, it doesn't have any qualities like the pañca mahābhūtas. It doesn't have any qualities, but it is very much a constituent of the kshetra. The moment that avyakta element is out, the kshetra is of no value, the kshetra is no good. We will just hasten to go take that kshetra to the crematorium and burn it down to ashes. So that avyakta element is also a part and parcel of the kshetra till it is there in that kshetra. Pañca mahābhūtānyahaṅkāro buddhi avyaktam evacha. And then indriyāṇi daśaikaṃ, the 10 senses. The 10 senses, these are the most precarious things which are driven by the mind, of course. Indriyāṇi daśaikaṃ, the 10 senses, the 10 senses of the senses of perception and senses of action. 5 senses of perception and 5 senses of action, adding up to 10 senses. The jnanendriya, the indriyas of the jnana, the indriyas of the perception of the outer world, and karmendriyas, indriyas of performing actions in order to go near those objects. Now, which are the jnanendriyas? The senses of perception, the eyes, the ear, nose, tongue, the skin. These are all the senses of perception. They make us perceive the outside world. Now, that perception, whether it is perfect or imperfect, that is a different point of debate. Our perception can never be perfect, but to whatever limited extent we perceive the world outside is through these 5 sense organs, the jnanendriyas, and then the senses of action, karmendriyas, the organs of action. Which are these? Of course, we all know the hand, the foot, the mouth, anus, and the genital organs, the evacuation and the procreative organs. So these are all the 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas comprising the 10 indriyas. That is what Krishna is referring to. Indriyāṇi, daśaikaṃ. They are also extremely part and parcel of this Kshetra, isn't it? And then pañca, cendriyagocarāḥ, and the 5 objects of senses. Now, see, God is so smart, God is so intelligent, and God is so mischievous. God has created these 5 senses of perception. Simply creating senses and giving it to all these different kshetras is of no use unless and until there are objects which can be perceived through these senses. So, indriyagocarāḥ, the objects of perception, the sense objects also have to be there. Only then Lord's play will go on. Once the senses come in contact with the sense objects, the magic starts, the play starts, and Lord starts watching it beautifully, that beautiful play that his children are playing using their sense organs and the sense objects. Now, each and every sense jnanendriya, for each and every jnanendriya, the Lord has created the indriyagocarāḥ, the sense objects. For eyes, He has created the sight to see. He has created all those objects which we can see, those beautiful objects, those are the non-beautiful objects, the objects which we like, the objects which we desire to have, the objects which we desire to enjoy. So, for eyes, He has provided the sight, the form, color, all these attributes which are perceived through eyes. Through ear, Lord has given us that beautiful musical melodies. Lord has also given us some dirty things which should usually not be heard by the ears, but we are tempted to listen to that. Then the touch, the skin, the sense of touch, for the sense of perceiving the touch. He has given us the skin, and through that He has also created the perception of touch and the objects which make us enjoy that element of touch, which make us enjoy the activity of that touch. So, for each and every sense object, nose, He has given such beautiful fragrances. He has also given obnoxious smells and all that. And mouth, what to talk about? Mouth, so many delicacies to enjoy. Ahara that we take in. Now, incidentally, all these senses, they are, in a way, they are taking things from the outer world, from the external world. And it is like a food. The sense objects are like food for these senses. And depending upon the nature of the person, we keep on taking that food. The food is not only the food that we eat from mouth. What we see is also food to the eyes. What we hear is also food to the ears. What we touch is also food to the skin, that sense of touch. So this is what Sri Krishna says, that these are the comprising elements of the Kshetra. The pañca mahābhūtas, intellect, and the unmanifest element, the formless entity which is dwelling in this physical body, is also very much part and parcel of this the Kshetra. And add to it those notorious 10 senses, the 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and the respective sense objects to satisfy the desire of each of these senses, the pañca indriyāgocarāḥ. So this is what Sri Krishna told us. What is this Kshetra actually is comprised of? And he has, in a way, this is a very short description, but it carries the entire depth of details. What this what this Kshetra is composed of. So this is what Sri Krishna has told us in the 5th Shloka. In the 6th Shloka also, Sri Krishna is going to tell more about these vikara, which this Kshetra, which this body undergoes as a result of the various causes that he had told about. Tat hetu matbhihi vinishchitaihi. Then he had told what cause and effect, what causes, what different causes, they create modifications in this particular Kshetra, in this particular body. That he is going to tell us next. Till then, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur Jai Ma. Jai Swami.